Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Okay, massive show today. I've got a super juicy interview with a Hollywood actress that was facing major scandal, and I talked about it before. Her name's Charlotte Kirk. She is here. I also have more time with Lala Kent, where we get into the juiciest housewife stuff. I've got a ton of hot topics, but first, I want to remind you guys, I'm coming to the Tempe Improv February 4th and 5th. Go to heathermcdonald.net. Also there, now available are my tickets to the Brea Improv, March 25th and 26th, and on the 27th, it is a live Juicy Scoop. Everything is at heathermcdonald.net. I also went to Vegas this weekend. Oh my God. Best Vegas trip ever. I will get more into it on Patreon, including running into a major celebrity that I had a little issue with. We may have made up. We may have whatever. I've got Juicy Scoop. Also, I decided, what else do you do when you go to Balenciaga? You pretend like you are also dating Kanye West. So go to my Instagram, go to my TikTok at Heather McDonald, and you can see what it's like when I pretend that I'm dating Kanye West. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to me, what's really happening with Kanye West on Saturday was a lot. Or was it Friday? When was the birthday? Saturday, right? Saturday. Well, first of all, he drops this song, where he is talking about buying the house across from Kim, that Kim took him to SNL only for him to see her kissing Pete Davidson. And in the song, he believes they were already dating. Why would you bring me there when you're already dating, kissing this guy that you're interested in? And he even says, I'm going to beat Pete Davidson's ass. Everyone goes crazy about that. Then we find out it's Shy, his daughter, who's number 3 in the family with Kim, her birthday, and she's sharing it with Stormy, which is, of course, Kylie and Travis Scott's daughter. They're having a big birthday party, and he goes and he does like a selfie in his car driving, saying he's so upset. He doesn't know where the birthday party is. No one will tell him where it is. He tried to call Tristan, and Tristan doesn't know where it is or won't tell him where it is. And everyone's like, this is so sad. And he's like, I'm done with this. I'm not going to lay down like the other Kardashian men. This is my daughter. And if I'm not there, she's only going to remember their dad was not there for her 4th birthday. Well, then I turn on TikTok and somebody posts that someone else at the party had done like a little story. And there is Kanye in a tank top and big fishing boots above his knee talking to Kris Jenner at the party. So I'm like, did they see his video and then invite him? Then Kanye comes back. People pick up this video where he says, I went to the party and I had a great time. Thank you. And meanwhile, there was an earthquake in the middle of the ocean that caused tsunami warnings all over, including LA and Orange County. So I come out of my beautiful massage at the Encore Spa only to find out that, I didn't know if Kanye was going to go to Stormy's birthday, and I didn't know if we were going to have a tsunami. So it was just so much to handle this weekend. See, here they are at the party. I have a photo of them at the party. He's got his fisherman boots on and a tank top. Kris is dressed very warmly. You will never understand Kanye's dressing overly warmly when it's hot out and then wearing just sleeveless top when it's cold out. A very confusing dresser. Meanwhile, also confusing dresser, Machine Gun Kelly got a shift from the Foot Locker and went and wore that shirt to ask Megan Fox to marry him. That is not my joke. Everybody made jokes about the fact that he's wearing this like Beetlejuice, Foot Locker type of shirt. And the ring is very unique and beautiful. It's like 2 pairs. One is an emerald and one is diamonds together. And you could wear them separately but it's a nice, beautiful, unique ring. So now she is going to be Megyn Kelly. I've been calling her Megyn Kelly by mistake so much. And now Megan Fox will be Megan Machine Gun Kelly. So congrats to them. Then sad, but Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have split after 16 years together. And a lot of people were sad and some were trying to see where he was this weekend, you horny bitches. Okay. The palace has stripped Prince Andrew of his dukedom after the loss of the military titles. So that happened in England. Also, this just came out. Page 6 is New York Post is reporting that Ghislaine Maxwell will no longer fight to protect the identity of 8 Johns who allegedly had sex with young women she and her billionaire pedophile pal, Jeffrey Epstein, procured for them. So a lawyer for Maxwell stated that in a letter to the federal judge this week that she would no longer object to the identities of the John Does. Okay, well, can we just make sure that they're in writing somewhere before she takes too long of a nap in her cell? Okay, can we just make sure, please? We would like to know. The Juicy Scoopers would like to know. Oh my God. So much stuff has happened since Jamie Lynn Spears' book has come out. I have not read it. I don't know who's read it. Give me a book report. What else is in there? Is it even out yet? Maybe that's why nobody knows what the scoop is on it. She did the interview with Good Morning America, which I talked about. Britney Spears did not like that. Also, then Jamie said that, her nudity is for shock value. Then Jamie's like, please, I've tried to call you, Britney, so many times. Why are we living this out publicly? Could we make it private? Well, really, you just wrote a book about your whole life. But she claims, Jamie Lynn, the book is about me. It's not about my sister. So, it says that she's, pleading that, and then also that, again, a source said, yes, Britney is going to sit down with Oprah Winfrey and tell her side. Meanwhile, I follow Sam Lutfi. Wait, no, that's how I say it wrong. Sam Lutfi. Okay, Sam Lutfi. That was the guy that we always saw at the gas stations during that time, always with her. He was there when she went in the ambulance, having her breakdown right before the 5150, right before the conservatorship. And I've asked him to come on my show a bunch of times. He won't. But he did tweet this. In 2007, when I asked Jamie Lynn to stay in LA with her sister, her response was that she didn't give an F about her and she wanted to quit her stupid show, meaning Zoe 101, and go home to Kentwood so that she can date boys and go hunting. She then got pregnant, giving her the perfect excuse to bail. I like this info. I think it tracks. Maybe she didn't want to be on Zoe 101. Maybe she wasn't ready to be working that hard at 16 years old. And maybe she did like boning her boyfriend. Oh, by the way, so many people told me I had it wrong, that she has identified the father of her child, and that father has been in her child's life this whole time, and his name is Casey Aldridge, and he was like her boyfriend at home or whatever. There are blind items and conspiracy theories and stuff that wasn't necessarily, that maybe wasn't the father of the child. I don't know. These are all rumors. It's all alleged. I just wanted you to know that I got all your comments and notes. So thank you. I read everything. Meanwhile, he then retweeted Britney Spears, who went off and wrote this long thing about her sister. She just said, I think we both have to agree to the fact that the family has never been remotely as hard on you as they have been on me what dad did to me. So it's just a very much sister competitive thing. I think in Britney's mind, she feels like she was the big sister. She established this stardom, established this connection for Jamie Lynn to walk into. And then when she needed Jamie Lynn was out for herself. And she didn't try to help her sister, and she didn't stick up for her sister. And I think that is why Britney's like, F you. So there's a lot to it. You can go back and read all the stuff. It's pretty juicy. I don't know. Who is the serial sister? I don't know. You would all say, oh my God, it's Jamie Lynn. Yeah, but I also think Jamie Lynn was in a really weird position, and I think we cannot relate to it. We cannot relate to a family with the biggest pop star in the world and a girl that was born 10 years after the biggest pop star in the world. We cannot relate to it. It's super juicy. It's whatever happened to Baby Jane. It's Kim and Kyle Richards on a different level. It's so intriguing. And I hope that we get the real truth at some point. But there won't be no truth because it'll always be their each perspectives. Real Houses of Salt Lake City, hands down, some of, by far, the worst reunion looks ever. And I really think just all together, it was just so jarring. The colors, the background of like icicles. There were feathers, there were velvet, there were jewel tones. It was just a lot. But last night's episode was so juicy. And I talk more about the show in general and the weirdness of these women in general with Lala Kent. But as you know, Jen Shah is facing like 10 to 20 years in jail for fraud. She and Meredith don't like each other anymore. Meredith doesn't like her because she felt she was attacking her family and liking tweets and saying things about Meredith's son Brooks being a twink. Also, Meredith's son Brooks didn't like seeing Jen's vagina last season. She went, they filmed it. She was there. She was drunk and she was kicking out her leg. And then Jen said, "You ruined my life because I have 2 teenage boys." And Brooks said he saw my vagina. And I don't care if he's a twink or not. My teenage boys didn't like knowing that Brooks told the world that he saw my vagina. And then Meredith says, "Well, Murillo and Crystal said they saw your vagina too." Who's Murillo and Crystal? Well, I guess there were 2 other girls or something that happened to be at the house that were also subjected to Jen's vagina. Then Jen said, "But you hired a detective to look into me." And she's like, "I hired a detective to look into all of you because my family was having threats." Okay, so step back, get away. And then all of a sudden, Meredith just gets really mad. And then they talk about the vagina. And then the final thing is Jen says, "You in your 10 boyfriends." Well, Meredith and her husband, Seth, who loves to talk about other people's boobs and says he doesn't like to golf with his wife. I don't know if he's trying to be funny or weird, whatever. Now he's super sexual with Meredith. But for a while, they took a break. And I guess Meredith boned some dudes. And I don't really think it's a secret. Well, it's not now because she went on a reality show. But I think at one time maybe it was meant to be a secret. I don't know if Brooks knows. I don't know if Jen's teenage boys don't know. Anyway, they don't like each other. Then I love this. Reality Von Teese, who I follow on Instagram, posted this post of Jen's where her tits are out and she wrote, "Wonder if what your 2 boys think of this, since you're so worried about that, about the vagina. What do you think about the big titties?" Listen, she's living every day like she might be going to jail because she might be. So do I blame her? Look, I was living this weekend like there was a tsunami. And then there was. So I'm glad I had fun. Okay. Let's see. Mary. So much juice with Mary. She's the cult leader. Again, talk a little bit more about Mary. But so much has been found out. Apparently her church has been boarded up. Someone on Reddit drove by, said it's boarded up. The sign is down. And also her mother, who all the rumors were that the mother, or at least Mary told us that her mother originally wanted to take over the church for her grandmother, not Mary. Her mother did. And instead, the mother doesn't like her because Mary got bestowed by the dying grandma, marry my husband, Robert Sr. So she married her step-grandfather and became Mary, the cult leader. Now, Mary's mother and her stepfather, who looks very young, sit down with Up and Adam, and I think it airs tonight, and it's on YouTube, and basically is crying, saying like Mary is a victim of Robert Sr. This is just all so bizarre. The point is, I don't think it's a great church, okay? Sisterwives. Oh my God. Last night, as you know, it's been COVID talk for 2 years. They have yet to dig a hole to build the homes on Coyote Pass. basically what's happening here is in this episode, we find it's coming Christmas of last year. So it's all over a year ago, Christmas of 2020. They're going to try to get together. They're going to quarantine, whatever. Couple things happened. Kody refers to his children as Janelle's kids and Christine's kids. We caught him last night talking about he and Robin, wife number 4's children. He says, our kids. And then he says, I'm breaking my own rules. I'm going to a funeral for Janelle, wife number 3's mother who died. Interesting story, he says, of how I met Janelle's mother. Okay? This is crazy. He says, Mary, wife number 1, was friends with Janelle. And Janelle then introduced her mom to my dad, who already had several wives. So my dad married Janelle's mom before I then went on to marry Janelle. So not only is Janelle mom my mother-in-law, she's also my mom's sister wife. And she's also my stepmother. I don't even know. I guess you don't call her your stepmother if you're in polygamy. Anyway, that woman passed. They didn't know if he could. Now we got the Jermies going because he went to a funeral. So they got a COVID test. He was free. He said, if I have COVID, Robin, wife number 4, will not forgive me if I am not there for our kids on Christmas. Meanwhile, for 9 months, he never saw Christine's kids or barely, and didn't see Janelle's kids. Janelle is going to forgive Kody because she doesn't really I don't think she's into them. But Christine, we see next week that Kody says to Christine, I don't want an intimate relationship with you anymore. And which she then says, Kody said he doesn't want an intimate relationship with me anymore, so I don't want to be in this marriage. This is what's kind of nice about polygamy, is there's only one real wife. You're going to go, oh, isn't that wife number 1 Mary? No, because Robin came into the marriage, wife number 4, with 2 kids. And I guess they wanted health insurance or benefits or whatever. So he went to Mary and said, look, I like you the least out of all the wives, even though you were the first. So can we get divorced so that Mary can be my one? And so that Robin can be my one legal wife. So she agreed. Meanwhile, they never told her that. Meanwhile, for the entire 9 months, she didn't see anybody leave her house. And they're like, oh, I didn't know you were following the COVID rules. I guess you can come over for Christmas too. You guys, this show is so weird and so boring. And it's so weirdly comforting to me. I cannot stop watching it. And anyway, I think Robin is that girl that can get him to better come home, better not get COVID, better not piss me off. Even though he says Robin is the one who lets me be the head of the family. She follows all the rules. But she really is the master male manipulator of all the women because she's going to end up with him. And she's not going to like it in the end, but she wants it right now. And I think she is the one that is acting like she doesn't want him to sleep with Christine anymore. But I think he is starting to be like, I just don't want to sleep with these other wives anymore. He already hasn't slept with Mary in like 10 years. I don't know what's going on with Janelle, but so that is why Christine leaves him. Next week, it's going to be worth it. If you've never watched, just watch. Guess what? You can click to the next video, and I have more with Lala Kent. We talked about Housewives, her opinion on it being that she's from Salt Lake City. So much juice.